Hi, in this video I will show how the Figaf testing tool can handle a little more complex scenario in SAP PI where you have message splits and are able to handle it in a good way. So here we have created a scenario. It is not really the best, but I guess we'll see that once we get started with it. We'll create a new recording request. We'll name it complex demo. We know that the partner is called seller for this. We should have been filling or should fill in the order expression, but for now we will not do that, and we will then trigger the recording of these messages. This will then start the recording, wait for messages to be processed on the specific interface, and then we just sit there back and wait. So now we have created a recording and we can look at the details of this, and we can see we are getting one inbound message. It has a number of outbound messages, all on the same size and interface, and some of these are invoice lines that's being created. So if we look at this, we can see this is invoice line element, and this has an identifier called ID for line number. And we also have some of the other ones is invoices. So this is invoice, where we have an invoice number and some value. So design is probably not the best, just want to see how much you can actually overload into an interface and be able to test it still. So now we understand a little about the structure of that we have here. We can then go here, we can try to see if we can create the test case. And it says here there is a lot of these messages where there's multiple messages that has the same ID. And to fix this, we go into here, we go into the recording request, we will just set ID, which is the line number. Let's see how that goes. So we can then go back here, we can try, we will need to go in here to it, calculate order numbers, and we now see these has been changed. It got a 20 and a 10 up here, but still there's nothing really unique. So the idea is we want to be able to find the same invoice when it's processed again, and that's what we're needing these numbers for. So we need to find some more details on it, and for that we need to also add the invoice number to it if it exists. The easy way around this is just to put in concat of both the ID and the invoice number and the ID. Probably you could find a better way to do it, where you get the right data easier, but just want to show you what you can actually do here. And I guess this would anyway be an okay solution for it. So we'll calculate order number again, and now we can see it's both calculating the inbound messages, the order. We're now getting a 10 and a 20, and then we are getting the invoice numbers for these two documents also, which is the invoice number correlated to the same message. So now we have a structure we can use for this comparison. So we will run this again, and we'll create here. And what we can now see is we have created two test cases, one for partner 1, 2, 3 and one for 1, 2, 4. We just want to run it for one of them. If we run up here, we will run for all test cases. We can either, there's a number of different ways we can handle this. We can go to test cases. Here we can select one of these and we can just say run, or we can say run on a specific system. And this will then trigger running of this specific test case with the data here. So if we go here, we will then see in our testing result, we could probably have opened it a little easier. We will see we're getting some unexpected messages and some unfinished. And the reason is that we have not applied the same kind of configuration to this. So we'll open our test configuration here. Here we also have order expressions, and there's also a collection identification expression. This is if you have like line items but you don't know which order they are grouped in. So this is more for correlation cases if you have something like this. And you can use alphanumeric order numbers, probably a good idea in some cases to use that. So now we have added this expression, and let's try to go back. And it comes here with some details on it. I don't know if we can use the comparer here. I don't think it will work. So we will go back. We will run it again. And notice we're still just running this one specific message that we have here. So not all the other ones, but just this one. Oh, we just want to run the ones. This should be plenty. So we'll view the results. And we can see we are getting some successful, some errors. We can check in the line item here, diff here. And we can see there's a pricing different, and this is because I'm in the mapping multiplying the price by a number. So we can just say, okay, invoice line.price should be ignored. And the other error here we have up here, diff here, is the number. And we should also just ignore invoice.date. And what we now have is we can just run our compare here. If we want to compare all the documents or just the ones with error, now we can see everything was successful. We can go back to our test suite. We can open the one we just have. So now nothing has been running from this. We don't have any data on it, and now we can run it, and this will then trigger running of all of these test cases that we have in this. So now both messages is run, and if you look at it and see the details here, view the results, you can see it's giving success and it's a happy camper for these things. And we're just seeing that it has some unfinished and not compared yet. So this will just take a little while and it should be updated. So now everything's successful. We can get the result of this run as success. We can download it and do all the things we wanted. So the idea is that you have on the agent configuration, you have both the recording configuration where you need to find out what are these concatenation, or how do you find a unique ID for each document with the same interface. And then on the recording, you must be able to give the user or give the tool a way to identify the same document in the same way. So if something has changed on this process, you will be able to do it here. And I think there is also an option on the test case. Go back here to the test case. On the test case here, there is also one that says here recalculate order numbers, which will then apply the new way you have handled this comparison to work. I hope this has been helpful and you can see a little about what the Figaf tool can do, and there's a lot more regarding this. Thank you.